guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, you're just gonna have to excuse the hair. I just put it up in a little clip because I didn't want it down while I was washing my face. But anyways, so today's video is going to be kind of like an eyeshadows do or don't, and also at the same time how to make your eye appear larger than it really is. So this is a trick that I learned personally how to do last year because I kept getting really irritated because my eyeshadow kept getting up in my crease and it just looked a mess and looked unkept to me. So I figured out a way to stop that and prohibit that from happening. And I've seen a couple of you guys' comments about the glitter getting in your crease or the eyeshadow getting in your crease and it being really frustrating. And one lady even went as far as saying that it made her not want to do eyeshadow anymore and not want to do her makeup anymore. And I never want you guys to feel like the eyeshadow is stopping your game and making you not want to do it anymore. So if I can give you guys some tips and tricks on how to stop that from happening, I am going to do so. So the first thing you always want to do, I'm going to do one like a don't and one like a do pretty much. So the first thing you always want to do is prime your lids. If you don't prime your lids, your eyeshadows will not show up as vibrant and as pigmented. That's also another common question on how does your eyeshadow look so pigmented? How come I can't get mine to look like that? Use an eyeshadow primer, something like the Urban Decay primer potion. This is a really good one. I used to use this all the time. Personally, I just go in with concealer, so pretty much if I use the concealer from carving up under my brows, like today I used a Krylon concealer wheel, so I would probably go in with something like this and just use that. Most of the time I like to use cream concealers as opposed to liquid concealers, but a concealer, oh my gosh, this is the oldest trick in the book. When I first started wearing makeup, my mom used to tell me all the time, use a concealer, it's a great primer. So I'm just gonna go in with concealer and I'm gonna conceal both lids just because this one is pretty liquidy, so I just put like a swipe in the upper crease area and then just blend it in with your finger. I don't like to set my concealers, but I see some girls that like to set their concealers. Do what you wish. It is your face, it's your makeup. But I don't go in and set my concealer. So the first thing with eyeshadow is brushes. So you don't have to have the most expensive of brushes. I personally use a lot of Sigma brushes just because they were gifted to me. So that's the main reason why you guys hear me saying E25, E30, E45, all of those brushes. The brushes that I really love are my the Pretty Bar brushes. This is the Pink Martini collection. I had these for about 6 months, for about a year now, and I still love them. When I'm grabbing for brushes, I reach for these the most. The brush set is just the most universal. So I'll list that down below in the description box. I believe it comes with 5 eye brushes to complete an entire eye look. If you guys have been around for a long time, you've seen these pink handle brushes in a lot of videos, but something really close to this one is the E40 by Sigma. They used to make it really tapered and fluffy like this one, but I like to use the E35 when I'm not going in with this brush here by the Pretty Bar. So the E35 is a white-haired brush, and it's a little bit longer. It's not as short of a bristle. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more tapered. So depending on what you want, I'll use these both for the same thing. So I'm going to go in with the Pretty Bar's brush, and I'm going to take a warm tone eyeshadow. That's personally what I like to use. Something similar to this one. This is Sidekick by Makeup Geek. Very similar to Cocoa Bear, just a little bit more reddish and oranges. So I just take this in my eyeshadow like this. You can tap off the excess if you feel like you've had a lot. And then windshield wiper motions is just how I apply this. Windshield wiper motions and also small circular buffing motions. So the buffing motions, you kind of want to do like a swiggle, like you're like erasing something out or scratching something out on the paper. So just like that, and then windshield wiper motions. And this you want to apply into your upper crease, but not right underneath of the eyebrow, because that's separating the eyebrow from the crease shade. A lot of people miss that. A lot of people bring the shade all the way up unshaded underneath of the eyebrow, and never do that. That looks tacky and looks a mess. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this other side. I always start the most product out here, and then I bring it in the purple shadows, I am going to take this Coastal Scent Hot Pot, and this is in the shade Deep Roast. It's just the most true brown chocolatey shade that I've ever bought. And these Coastal Scent Hot Pots, I found like some people like them, some people don't like them. I personally like them. I think that they're great eyeshadows. So I am going in with this one, and for the middle shade, so you have your transition, then you have your crease shade, and then I use like an outer V deepening shade. For the transition shade or the crease shade, I always like to go in with a fluffy E25 blending brush. This is my favorite brush to blend out eyeshadows. It just gets in and it just blends like a dream. So with this one, I like to take quite a bit because most of the time I use this shade to really deepen and darken. And I started out right here. Now this one's gonna back and forth, and depending on how far you want to bring it in, you can bring it into the, you know, the arch or the center of the eyeball, or you can bring it in a little bit further. I usually bring it into about right here, not all the way in like you're doing a halo smoky eye, but pretty darn close, and then start to work that upwards a little bit more. Small circular buffing motions, and as you can see, I'm kind of leaving it all the product on one side. That way you can always flip that brush over if you feel like it's getting a little messy or a little too dark, just to blend that out. So I'm just going to do the same thing over here, pat, 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 onto this outer V, and then start working that into the crease as well. So now to deepen and darken that, you can always stop here, but I like to take it a little step further, especially if I'm wearing something with a little bit of black in it. I'm going to take Corrupt by Makeup Geek. This is the blackest shadow I've ever owned. As you can see, I hit pan, so I use it a lot, and it never goes bad. So I'm going to use Corrupt by Makeup Geek. Now for your outer V shadow, you can use two different brushes. There is the E47 by Sigma. You can kind of see it has like a little point and it's very thin, so it makes getting into that crease really easy. Or you can use another E25 blending brush like you see here, which is a little bit, I'm going to try to bring it in my face, which is a little bit more firm, a little bit thinner, a little bit more dense. I'm going to go in with the E47 just because it's a little bit smaller, and I just apply that onto the outer V, doing the same kind of like patting motion, and then you can bring that in as far as you would like. Also, if you're doing for a really, really dramatic look, you can bring it all the way in like you did the brown, but most of the time I just use this shadow just to deepen and darken that outer crease. So once again, just applying this out into this outer V area. And then, as I also always mention in my videos, going back in with the previous brush, no additional product, and just using that to blend and merge the two shades. I find that the lid shade is where most people go wrong. So I'm going to do this eye as I normally would. That's how I apply it, and I'm going to do this eye how I used to apply it. So I want you guys to pay attention to the difference. So I'm using the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow in the shade Millionaire. One of my favorite eyeshadows. It's just super, super, super great. I've already applied my eyeshadow to it, but I'm using a MAC 242 brush, and this is just a flat shaded brush, so it helps to work with these like pressed pigment type thing. Plus the shade is really glittery, so how I used to apply my eyeshadow was just straight across. Just like this. So just on the lip part, right? That's what it seems like, right? So that's how I used to apply it. So then, as I started realizing when I look up and I do all things, it's starting to get into my crease. That's not cute to me. So what I started to do was bring it right up and press my brush into that crease bone, and that's as far as I would bring my eyeshadow up. So yeah, sometimes it makes it look like it's a cut crease, but at least you don't have to worry about getting shadow all up in your business, in your crease, you know. This is a really glittery shadow too, so. Once again, going in with that brush, blending it through the crease. Voila. So just looking at you guys, this makes it look like my eyelids. It plays it off that I have more eyelid space than I really do, because in all actuality, my eyelid, like my technical eyelid is right here. Like right where I applied this eyeshadow is where my eyelid is. But if you guys bring it up a little bit further up into the crease, then it'll make it look like you have more eyeshadow space. I see it on everyone's eyes, even when I do my clients' eyes. It's called a faux eyelid space, like that, like fake eyelid space. Like literally, that's how I do all of my clients' makeup, especially if they have smaller eyelids, and how I do my eyelids or my eyeshadow as well, because I don't like this, and it just, you can't see as much, because once you go in with eyeliner, you can't really see as much, and then it just isn't brought up as far. So, you know, looking down, doing around, you know, by the middle of the day, I've got eyeshadow on my crease, and I'm just like, you know, through. Whereas if I look down over here, that eyelid folds up into that upper eyeshadow as well. So anyways, that is how I fake eyeshadow and fake having a big eyelid space. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what other tips and tricks of mine that you guys would like to know or that you're curious about. I'm always down for the questions. You know what I mean? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all. I enjoyed making this video because I just kept thinking, like, I don't want my girls to feel like they can't do their own makeup because of, you know, this, that, and the third. That's not fair. You know what I mean? Because there are tricks to make everything work in this world. So I hope you guys enjoy. I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah. Bye.